Hey, so this is part two of the PCA tutorial using SAS. We have the results from running SAS in part one. These are our results here. So in part two, I'm going to show you how to take these results from SAS and put them into Excel, and you can make your pretty looking PCA chart explaining that shows the correlations between the attributes and products in a really easy to see, easy to understand way. So we have our results. Let's get started. Now it's kind of weird going from PDF to Excel in that you can't copy and paste columns directly from a PDF to Excel. So we have to do this a special way, which can be kind of frustrating. I mean, you can type things in manually into Excel, but it's a lot quicker to do it the way I'm going to do it. So I'll just show you that way. So we have this PDF open with the results. Let's go left click on File, go to Save as Other, go over here to the right, go on Spreadsheet, and then left click on Microsoft Excel Workbook. So let's just save this to the desktop. Left click on Save. So it's going to open up here. One moment. Okay, here we go. So I'll double click this file. So you'll see that the data from the PDF was converted to an Excel format, and now it's in these columns. It makes it a lot easier to work with. It's not perfect. We're going to have to mess around with the formatting a bit before we can use it, and I'll show you how to do that. So first we're going to make an easy XY chart using our attributes. So let's make another tab so we can make our chart. So go down here, see where this table 1 is and this little button on the bottom is. You're going to left click this insert worksheet. So now we have a new worksheet here. Let's name this. So sorry, I'll show you how to do that. Move your cursor here, then right click once, go up to rename, and then let's type our name in, PCA data. So our first XY chart or XY table is going to be the attributes. So I'll show you how the formatting is messed up. We're going to have to fix the formatting, but I'll show you how to do that right now. So let's go back to table 1, left click that. Okay, so you see here this box that says factor pattern. This is what we're going to use to do the XY chart for our attributes. So left click on fresh, and now left click and hold down the mouse button, the left mouse button, drag it to the bottom right here under factor 2. Now let go. See, factor 1 is our x axis and factor 2 is our y axis. And this is what we're going to use because these two factors account for the most amount of they're the two principal components, so these two account for the most variance in the PCA. So now we have these selected. We'll right click, go down to copy. Now we have it copied, so left click on the PCA data tab. So now we're going to paste it here, but it's not going to be in the right format. I'll show you how to fix that shortly. So right click here, go down to paste values. So just left click, paste values. So see how I pasted it? It's kind of messed up, so we'll fix that right now. So everything is next to each other. Otherwise, it's not going to look nice, you know. So let's fix it up. So left click on B, the B column, and then hold down Shift on the keyboard and left click the D column. And now let go, and it'll select all these. Go up to the top, the buttons here, left click on the delete cells button, and there you go, it deletes those. We're going to do the same with C, so left click C, hold down Shift, left click G, delete it. Okay, there we go. So these are our attributes, our attribute table. Now we need to make a table for our orange juices. We're going to do it much in the same way we did before. Left click table 1. Let's scroll down here. So here where it says PCA for orange juice, this is where we have our observations. Now we need to select, these are going to be our x's and y's. These are the two principal components, factor 1 and factor 2. So factor 1 is x, factor 2 is y. So first, let's select our 10 juices. Select that first, right click, left click copy, left click PCA data tab, left click the box there, now right click, and go down, left click, paste values. Okay. Now we go back, table 1. Oops. 1 second here, it's going kind of slow. Okay. So left click factor 1, hold down the left mouse button and drag it to the bottom of the factor 2 column. Now right click, left click copy, click the PCA data tab, click to the box to the right of the 1, right click, go down to paste values, left click here. Now all we need to do is get rid of this F column. So left click the column, left click delete, and that's it. So now let's make our chart. Go up into insert, left click it, click scatter. Let's click this first one here, we don't need the lines. So this is our empty box where our chart area will be, or our chart will be. Left click select data. We'll add the first data series from the attributes. So let's name this series attributes. Our x values, click this button, left click it. Now left click here, hold down the left mouse button and drag down to the bottom. That'll select all of our x values. This is principal component 1. Left click this box. Now left click this one. Same thing here, left click, hold it down, drag to the bottom, left click, hit OK. So that's our first series. We'll add another one. This one is for the orange juices. And our x values will be this first principal component. Left click, drag it down, press the button, left click, drag it down, hit OK, and hit OK again. So now we have our chart. Let's move it to its own tab so we have more space to work with. So right click the chart. You know, I lied actually. Let's leave it here because we're going to need to reference the little coordinates with the labels we put on it. I'll show you what we're doing in a second here. So let's make this bigger. Okay, so we'll first let's add our titles for the axes and whatnot. So go up to chart layouts here, select this, left click it. Now we have it automatically add the titles and all that. So left click the chart title. Let's change it. Orange juices. Now let's name axis X. Let's click that for the X-axis. PC1, principal component 1, says this is the largest amount of variance. Let's look at our data so we can see how much variance the first principal component has. Let's scroll up here. Okay, so we can see the proportion of variance for the principal components here. So these are our principal components, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So 1 and 2 are the only components we're concerned with. So we can see component 1 accounts for 68% of the variance. So we know that 68%, we don't need to copy and paste. Let's go over to PC data. So we have PC1, let's click in there so we can add in the percentage of variance due to this principal component. Now PC2, let's check that one out. PC2 is responsible for 16.7% of the variance. PC2, 16.7%. Okay. Now let's delete this key. We don't need this anymore. Now, sorry, I should explain how I did that. So I'm going to go and undo that. So I just left click this box and then I hit the delete key on my keyboard. I'll do that. So let's get rid of these horizontal lines on the screen. There's table space and we don't need them. Left click one of the lines, it selects them, hit the delete key on your keyboard, gets rid of it. So now we have our coordinates. We need to label them, and we need to add lines and that kind of stuff. I'm only going to do one at a time because it's pretty. I'm only going to do one for each one, so because it takes a lot of time. And I'll just show you the completed chart. So first, let's add our lines showing the correlations. So go up to Insert, left click Insert, go to Shapes, left click Shapes, and then move down to Lines, and you see the little arrow, left click that. So start from the origin, left click and hold it down, and then drag it to the first attribute. And you're going to keep doing that. So go up here, left click the arrow, left click and hold down the center, drag it here. Okay, I'm only going to do 2. You need to do it for every attribute. So we've done that. Imagine I did it for every attribute. Now I'm going to add labels. So we need to label our attributes. So we'll left click this text box and we'll add it up here. Make it a small one. So this first, the attribute up here, negative 0.78 and 0.5399. That corresponds to cooked. So for our text box, we'll put in cooked there. So go up to Insert, left click text box, cooked. So you'll do that for every attribute. I'm having trouble selecting it. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So do that for every attribute. We'll just imagine I did that, and I'll show you the finished graph shortly. We also need to label every orange juice. So I'll left click one of the orange juice dots, then right click on it once, go down to add data labels, I'll add a text box, and then you can reference the coordinates with here and add in your coordinates. So this one, 0.64392, corresponds with this guy, number 10. So this is 10. So double click on the text box, delete this here, and then left click home because we want to change the text so it's different than this other text. So let's make it bigger, size 16. Let's make it red and let's make it bold. So this is orange juice number 10. I left click anywhere, and there you go, number 10. So that's the procedure. Just do it for every single coordinate. That's the procedure you have. I'll show you a finished one here. I'll minimize that. This is one I did earlier. You can see everything is labeled, 10, 4, 2, etc. All the attributes are labeled. Oh, I didn't show you how to delete the attribute place markers. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'll minimize this. Let me make sure I have the right one here. So left click one of these blue boxes and I'll select all of them. I'll right click it. Go to left click format data series in the bottom. Left click marker options and left click none. Hit close. And I'll get rid of the option or the markers for the attributes, and it just makes it look cleaner so you can see your correlations nicer, more clearly. Now let's pull up this chart so you can see I don't have the little markers there, but I do have the markers for the orange juices because it makes it easy to see how close these orange juices are to each other. So you can see 3 and 8 are similar, 9 and 10 are very dissimilar, and then you can see the correlation's easy. Pulp, thick, and sweet are highly correlated with each other, but they're negatively correlated with cooked and peeled or sour. So you can see that really easily with this. And I think that is it. Any questions? You know how to get a hold of me, and I can make tutorials for anything else if needed. That's it. So thanks.